What is going on, guys? We finally have a new budget sub from one of my favorite, more budget companies, American Base. This looks to be a budget monster. Let's get into this and see what we got. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for checking in to this video. Now, here lately, really in the last 2 years, I've seen a crazy price increase all across the board of subs. You just can't get good stuff for what you used to get it for. And a lot of the stuff I've been doing has been more expensive stuff because of that here. So when I saw that American Base had a new sub that is under the $300 mark, I had to jump on it, guys, and check it out. So yes, this is the new HD 12 V2. Looks pretty cool. Let's get this thing out of here, see what it looks like, and see how it compares to the older V1. I bought this from Big Jeff Audio, and he had it shipped out really pretty quick, so thank you so much. This thing was $278.95, and then after tax, it was $297.78, but still, y'all, after tax, still under $300 for a big old sub like this. That's actually a really good deal in today's market. First off, we got our American Base white decal, and then here is the specs sheet. Of course, this is the V2. We have the 12D2. So the voice coil diameter is 3.3 inches. That's interesting. Impedance, of course, 2 ohms. The FS is 37 hertz. The X max is 21 millimeters. The sensitivity, or SPL, is 86.5. And of course, good old American Base with their max power is 4,000 watts. So I'm gonna guess this is a probably 2,000 watt RMS sub. First off, it was packaged really nice. They always have 3 individual boxes when they ship their bigger subs, so that's nice. Let's get a look up at this guy real quick for y'all. Of course, obviously the blue basket really stands out. It has the blue like you would see on the X-Max Monster that they make. Speaking of the X-Max Monster, I ordered one back in like April, I believe, and it still is not here yet. Now they're saying February of 2022 before it's gonna show up. But guys, I have ordered one. We'll get on the channel here as soon as we can. Here is the V1 HD over here. Now technically, this is not really the V1 and V2. They had several HDs before they had this one, and they were actually really different, but I guess this is just the V2 of this kind of style of HD. But this was an absolutely awesome sub, really incredible sub, so I'm hoping this guy should be as well. Starting from the top, we've got the same gray high roll surround that we saw on the older one here. Got the same dust cap, pretty stiff. Same going for the cone, pretty stiff, but you can dimple it a little bit. Moving down, we've got the exact same basket. Of course, it's just painted different. This has got more of a gloss finish, whereas this had more of a matte textured finish. And here's where you really see some of the differences in this new guy. We've got this really cool red spider over here, whereas we had a black spider in the previous one. But it looks to be really the same spider. It's got the same material and weave, at least from what I can see. We still have the same dual round tinsel leads going into the spider. The motor at least looks identical, but I can't promise that. In here, we've got our screws, and they do have glue on them, so that's good. And here's another one of the main differences. On the old one over here, we had this kind of matte black coil. And over here, it's a little bit different. Still has the black glue on it, but not the same glue that's on this guy over here. Now, I've absolutely loved these coils. This guy had the same coil that was in the XFL and the Elite, and they were just absolutely wonderful coils. So not sure why they changed it up, but hopefully it's still just as good. Still gets the job done. Over here, they look pretty identical. They both have 300-ounce motors. One really cool thing that we're seeing here, this guy says 4,000 watts max, whereas this guy says 2,200 watts RMS. So kind of nice. American Base is catching on, putting the RMS power on these. That's what people want to see now. This is not the early 2000s. Nobody wants to see the max rating on a sub. This guy had a 2,000 watt RMS rating, whereas this guy has an extra 200 watts there, 2,200 watts RMS rating. So cool to see a little bump in power. Not exactly sure what allowed for that bump in power, but regardless, still pretty cool. Also, this guy is nice and stiff. What you would expect for a sub like this. Well, overall, this thing looks really, really awesome. Glad to finally have another American Base. American Base is one of my favorite overall, just kind of value brands or budget brands. And having something this big for under 300 bucks after tax is absolutely awesome, guys. So let's throw this guy in the car. We're gonna let it break in for a few days, and we'll get to some good old testing. Now we still have this Sundown X Series V3 in here, and y'all, this thing is an absolute beast. Has taken everything I've thrown at it so far, but being over $600, I would definitely hope it would take everything I've thrown at it so far. Definitely an awesome sub, but boy, it is expensive. So I ran into a little issue, and I've had that issue before. American Base likes to use big baskets on their subs. So this guy does not quite fit in this box. So either I'm gonna have to invert it, or I'm gonna have to put it in my old box. Doesn't really make a difference to me. I guess I'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna invert it, which is all right with me. Might as well see this big old beautiful basket. But first, while we got it out here, I'm gonna play like a 20 hertz test tone through it just so we can see how this thing moves. Now, real quick, got something cool in to show you guys. Marlon over at VREarthquake.com sent me this cool guy. So here in a video soon, we'll be testing this thing out, see how it does. Y'all, this looks really good. Glad I went with inverting it. But like I said, gonna let it break in for a few days. Then we'll get to seeing how it sounds and doing our normal test. I've had this big fella in here a couple days. I've really enjoyed having another American bass in here. And I gotta say, this thing actually sounds really good. The quality is really good. Nice to have something a little bit different in here. I've had the Sundown XV3 in here for a while, and it's a great sub and all. It takes a lot of power, gets low, but it does lack a little bit in a little bit more of that quality area. Whereas this guy definitely, at least kind of overall, sounds a little bit better, at least a little bit cleaner. So guys, let's get into the RMS test. See if this thing can make it for a full song around that 2200 watts. Got this thing set to real-time power. Got my little bass knob back here so we can adjust it. We have Gilligan by Dram. Let's get into it. Well, always a good day when a sub makes it through that test. Now, it is a little warm. I don't feel much over here, but I was starting to smell it about 2/3 through the song, but it never got super strong and it never smoked or anything, so I think coils are fine. Definitely pushed it pretty nicely there. I saw it peak between 27 and 2900 watts, but it seemed to stay between kind of that 1500 to 2500 most of the time, and it seemed to do fine. Y'all, it is now time for the dB test. We have the SBL Lab mini bass meter hooked up over here. We're gonna do a little test tone sweep to see where we peak at, then we'll go from there. It's got a little 124. We peaked at 44 hertz. Do it one more time, a little bit louder. Then we got a 130. That time it says 48 hertz. I'm gonna try it again. We got 38 hertz. Got scores a little all over the place there, but 40 hertz should be kind of a good middle ground. So that's what I do most of my other testing with. They're right around there. So that's what we're gonna go with and see what it does. Start out with, got a 136.6. Got a 137.2. Got a 138.3. There we go, broken to the 140s. I will try 45 hertz just to see if that's any different. Oh, there we go. That bumped it up a little bit, guys. Got a 142.2. Might as well try 50 hertz. Nope, only a 140.7. Well, a 142.2 out of a single 12 in this massive cabin. Not bad at all, guys. One thing to mention here, this is a dual 2 ohm sub wired down to 1 ohm on my Taramps Bass 8K. Now, some of the subs I've done, I had to wire down to 0.5 ohm on this amp. So if this is a teeny bit quieter, that could have to do with it. I definitely did push the amp to its clipping point there doing those tests. Anyway, y'all, this has been an awesome sub. So excited to get something else from American Bass. Always a really good time. Happy to see something new from them. Glad to see a big beefy sub under $300. Y'all, I think the average bass head is going to absolutely love this thing. If you're wanting something bigger, you got the power to back it up, but you don't want to go spend $500 or $600 on another sub. I think this guy is going to have you covered. It really should last a pretty long time. every other American bass that I've had has just been an excellent sub for longevity, for getting loud, and for sounding really pretty good for what you pay. Well, y'all, let me know what y'all thought of this sub. Is this something you might go pick up? Let me know. Should you want to get it, I will leave some links in the description below. Those are our affiliate links. Should you purchase this sub through those links, it does help out the channel a little bit, y'all, and every little bit helps. Y'all are the reason I do what I do, and I just want y'all to know that I appreciate it each and every day. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Here coming up soon, we have another Def Bonce sub, biggest sub I've had from them, and we have this Taramps processor I was talking about, so stay tuned for both of those, y'all, coming here soon. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned for more, and as always, keep bassing on.